Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. My God, it's almost hard to believe I used to be a singer. My voice hasn't woken up, and neither have I. I'm not sure where you guys are at. It's 10 o'clock, and I've actually been up for many hours at this point, but somehow I just cannot seem to wake up, neither my voice or my brain. So we're going to do this together. I don't know if you're in the same boat as me, but yeah, we're going to wake up together. So I'm going to take a little sip of my coffee. You feel free to take a sip of your drink while you're watching. I'd like to say welcome to Me First Mornings. Mm. Welcome to this edition of Me First Mornings. I am your host and energy alchemist, Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson. I'm a wife and a mother to 3 boys, and it is my mission to help you calibrate your energy, also to teach you how to integrate self care into easy, doable steps, because that's important. And I also want to help you shine your light in your own unique way in the world, because that is your purpose, that is your mission. And let's do that in a way that brings love and joy to everyone around us. Like, wouldn't that be awesome if we all just, kind of connected with our purpose and our mission, and that mission was connected to making, the world a better place, which I believe it is. I believe that that is our mission deep down inside. And we all have our own unique coordinates and our own unique plans to get there, right? Like the divine plan of how we are contributing to making the planet a better place, to making the world a better place, to making humanity sort of shift and change and evolve as is necessary in this existence, right? Like we need to evolve, just like everything evolves from the moment that it enters into this physical space. It begins to change and shift and evolve. And we are here for to facilitate the transmutation of the energy, right? I know it sounds all very like to facilitate the transmutation. I make myself laugh sometimes, but that's what comes to me. Like that's the information that sort of comes to me, and this is what I'm sharing with you, and I hope it's useful. I know kind of speak a lot of that woo speak. Like I said, it's sort of just the language that comes to me, but I do try and facilitate things here on Me First Morning to make it into easy, understandable steps, right? To show you how to take all of all that you are handed, all of the challenges, all of the experiences that you have in your life, and how can you take the good ones and let those inform your future choices, and how can you take the more challenging ones and transmute the energy and absorb the lessons, but change sort of your feelings about it if you're having, feelings that are stuck or stagnant, or, just feeling that heaviness and that weight of certain experiences that you've had in the past, whether it's trauma or, just bad memories. I mean, bad memories can be trauma, but not all bad memories are trauma. It could just be things that you sort of go through and think about and need to process. And we are in a heavy, heavy time of processing, which brings us to today, which is the new moon in Pisces. So if you are feeling particularly emotional, if your senses are like heightened, if you, really feel things on a deep, deep level right now, it totally makes sense. I mean, most of the people who watch this show and who I'm connected with are empaths anyway. An empath is someone who really like feels deeply the energies around them, is very sensitive to people and energy around them. So if you are an empath, you are feeling this energy even more powerfully. It is impacting you in even a bigger way. And so it is up to you to take that energy and decide what you're going to do with it, and change it and shift it and transmute it and make it lighter, make it more palatable, and also to use it for whatever you want to use it for in the next part of your life, right? Because what is the new moon all about? The new moon is about planting seeds. It's about a blank slate, starting from scratch. Now, you don't have to start from scratch, because you may already have been working on something or planting your seeds, or, kind of in the thick of your next phase of evolution, whether it's in your business or on a personal level or, in relationships. I think on a global level, we are doing a lot of shifting, and that is also reflected in each of us individually. So you need to, oh, sorry, I need to turn this off. Thank you for your patience. Anyway, it's really intense right now. And so today I'm going to pull some cards. If you're watching and you would like me to pull cards for you, I'd love to pull a card and just see what it is that you need to focus on for this next new moon to help you accelerate the momentum for the next part of your life. I mean, for 2 years, we've been making plans and just laughing at the idea of trying to accomplish them because it's really difficult to accomplish plans when they keep getting kiboshed by quarantine or travel restrictions or, you know, health issues that you're experiencing because of the pandemic that's been happening. But it is time that we start planning for the next phase, right? Things are starting to slow down in a certain respect. We are learning to adapt to this sort of new way, this new virus that has entered into our world. And it's time for us to figure out, okay, like this exists, this is what we're dealing with. Now what? How do we move forward? How do we make plans? How do we set the guideposts for the future of what we want to accomplish next? And that is what this energy of the new moon really does, is it helps you to plant those seeds, and it also helps you to see what isn't serving you. Now typically the full moon is where we release the things that aren't serving us, but when the new moon comes, that's also an exercise that you can do because it depends on where you're at in your journey, right? So if you already have things in place, if you've already sort of planted your seeds and are really clear on what you want to do next, well, then you continue with that. And so this new moon energy is going to facilitate that. And but if you don't have any idea and you're still feeling kind of lost, the new moon is also a perfect time to go within and really just think about what's next for you, or what do you want to be next for you? How do you want to plan things out? Now's the time to start thinking about what you want to put into place for the future if you haven't done it already. Melina Prentice, hi, welcome. I will absolutely pull a card for you. Let's do our morn up, our morn ups. Morn ups, that could be a new word. Let's do our morning warm up, which is the morning ritual. Let's do that together, and we'll get right started with the cards. So, first thing I'm going to do is light my candle. Feel free to join me if you have a candle, or if not, that's okay. There we go. Lit the candle. It's going very slowly. I like to add some essential oils next. It helps me to let my brain know that we're turning things down a little bit, that we're kind of connecting with spirit, with source. We're connecting with our higher selves. This is a moment of connection. And now we're going to take 3 deep breaths, right? And each of these deep breaths, and I change this as I'm inspired to, as I'm led to. This breathing exercise has evolved. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take, like I said, 3 deep breaths. The first one, because what we're doing with these deep breaths and with this ritual is to set us up for the day. So I've said this before. This is an opportunity for us to clear anything that's not serving us, right? Connect with source or spirit and our higher selves, and to charge ourselves for the day. Right. So we, of course, sleep, and that's part of our charging process, but we are made of, sunlight. And as I like to say, we're made of stardust and earth dust, right? So we're going to charge up using our minds, of course, but also the intention that we're going to call in the sun, and we're going to call in the earth and call it into our bodies to charge up, to fuel up for the day. So let's take that deep breath now. Deep breath in. Just imagine that the top of your head is opening up, and you're just going to allow that liquid sunshine to pour in. I want you to imagine that the sun is just directly pouring that beautiful, glowing, white light energy into your body, and it's just going to dissipate and go into each one of your cells and break apart any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy while filling you with this brilliant light filled with love. Let's do that now. And hold. and release. Beautiful. Now, the second breath we're going to take, our feet are well planted on the ground, and we're going to imagine that we are absorbing that life force energy, the same energy that helps plants like burst through the earth in the spring. We're just going to imagine that earth force energy, that life force energy is just coming up our legs, through our bodies, and just like going to every single part of our body, branching out, right? Using our own sort of like vein system. And we just want to imagine that that's all going through like this and activating our life force energy. Let's do that together now. And hold. And release. Okay. Now, the third breath, we're going to do one last time. Make it count. We're going to increase our capacity to breathe. We're going to increase our capacity to take in that beautiful, brilliant light, that beautiful energy that the earth is always offering us. And we are going to charge ourselves up for the day. So I want you to imagine just like a battery that your energy goes boop, 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 or like a video game, right? Where all of a sudden, like you power up. Let's power up together and make this last breath really count, because it's going to carry us for the whole day. Well, hopefully that's not your last breath for the day, but we're just going to pretend that this is going to carry us through the day. All right, here we go. And hold. And release. Beautiful. Okay, now we'll do a little stretching, right? Do your neck, do your arms, do your back. What we're doing is, again, we are clearing our channel. We want to make sure that we are flowing, right? So any tension, discomfort, or stiffness in our body, we want to release it. So just take deep breaths. If something is a little tight, and release that tension to allow things to flow better through your vessel, because this is how we magnify the light, right? This is how we shine our light. It's through this vessel. So we want to clear that vessel to make sure that we are as clear and brilliantly light as possible, okay? There we go. And shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. I don't have any jewelry on today, so you don't hear the little shaky shake. Okay. Beautiful. So now let's just set our intentions. For those of you who have not yet downloaded the GPS workbook, you go right ahead to the free GPS workbook here. You don't need it for this exercise, but it is helpful if you do have it. If you have your word chosen, right? What is your GPS word? What feeling are you going to plug into your coordinates today? What is your intention for the day? And since it is the new moon, you can set your intention for the next 2 weeks, right? So what do you intend on cultivating over the next 2 weeks before the next moon, big moon phase, of course, because moon phases are happening every day, but the full moon is in 2 weeks. So this gives you sort of that time period to focus on. So what do you want to focus on? What is your intention? And let us just keep that intention in mind as we say our Me First morning prayer. Okay, so here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of infinite consciousness connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. And as always, we intend for there to be peace and love throughout the world. Okay, beautiful. Now, let's get started with our day. All right, Melina, you would like a card pulled, so I will pull your card first. I will be using the Enchanted Map deck because I like it for these types of things. For those of you, while I'm shuffling, for those of you who have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go to YouTube, go on Jumpstart for Change, and press the subscribe button and ding that notification bell so you know when I'm going to go live, which is usually Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. If you're here, you know it. And if you've seen it, well, I've been doing it pretty consistently, so you can pretty much count on me unless something's up, in which case just check out my social media because I always let you know what's going on. Good morning, Lena. How are you? Okay, so, Melina, let's find out what it is that you need to focus on for this new moon, right? And as I said, the Pisces new moon, you may be feeling heightened intuition, heightened sensitivity, heightened emotions. Everything is very, very present and right there on the surface. So if you're feeling it, just keep that in mind that you are in line with what's going on astrologically speaking. So yes, it is you feeling all these things, but also you are being sort of assisted to feel these things as part of the energy that exists right now in our atmosphere, in our planet, in our stars, in the universe. And of course, it affects us. Why wouldn't it affect us? I mean, the full moon or the moon affects the tides, affects animals. We are also affected, even though there are people who might think that it's all a bunch of hogwash, and that's okay. Totally fine. I just understand that there is a lot more out there that's probably got a lot more influence on me than I could potentially imagine. But that's why we do this. All right. So, Melina, what do you need to know about this new moon? What do you need to focus on? Let's find out. Okay, here is your card, number 15, the One Ring Circus. So I don't know what's going on in your life. And interestingly enough, it came upside down. So this is an extra message for you, Melina. So this is something that you need to be connecting with during this time right now. I don't know if you've been feeling sort of overwhelmed and stressed out and like you have a ton on your plate. Maybe like you are your own one ring circus and you're sort of, balancing all of the acts, that you are facing, the challenges that you're facing in your life. But it is time for you to start setting up the boundaries in your life to eliminate this type of stress, right? And there's going to be things that we don't have control over. There's going to be things you don't have control over, especially, I don't know where you are, if you're in Canada or the US, but things have been changing in terms of restrictions and quarantines and all that kind of stuff. So on that level, things are going to affect you from the external part of your life that you can't control. But what you can control is what's going on within your life, and you can set up the boundaries that are important for you to function. So if there's things in your life that you are doing out of obligation, but it is not necessary for your survival or for the survival of people you love, you have to think about whether or not it is actually worth your time and energy. It is really important right now that you streamline your energy and your focus, because we are in a time right now that we have to really use our energy to the best of our ability. And you have to be responsible for the energy, number one, that you are absorbing and taking in, and also the energy that you are putting out into the world, especially during this really volatile time, because each one of us are feeling excessively stressed, right? We are feeling the weight of the world. We are feeling the weight of our own experiences over the last 2 years. So many of us have been holding space for the loved ones in our life who need a little extra support during this time. And in the meantime, we are feeling burnt out, exhausted, and just done with everything. And so when you feel that, when you are feeling overwhelmed, when you are feeling stressed out, it is really important for you to step up and set those boundaries for yourself. So it could be, social media boundaries, where it's like, I'm only going to scroll between this time and this time so that you can have focused energy. You still get to do what you want, but it doesn't sort of take your whole, all of your focus throughout the day, because we start to leak our energy throughout the day if we jump into social media or jump into checking the news or checking anything outside of us, right? Aside from, of course, work, and you have to check your emails or things at home. There's certain responsibilities that you have. There's certain obligations that you can't get out of, because that's just the way life is right now. People that you may have to take care of, or things that you may have to do. But even within those things that are our responsibilities and obligations, there are ways that, like, there's an option to delegate. Sometimes there's so often we take on things that are not ours, but it was just easier for us to do that, so we don't have to fight with somebody else to do it. This is the time to say, this is no longer my responsibility. You need to take care of this, because this is now your responsibility, right? So that's number one, is don't take on other people's responsibility to make things easier for them, because guess what? Then that puts you in a position where you are neglecting your own needs. So that's number one. And number two, you may have to set up boundaries about what you're willing to do or not do for the people in your life, and also for your own plans, whether they professional plans or personal plans. In order for things to work, you have to be diligent in where you are putting your time and energy. So that is what I feel most for you, is that in order to, like, end this one ring circus that's going on in your life with all of these things sort of happening, and you feel maybe like there's way too much on your plate, it's time to put that plate down and really look at it and see, what can you take off the plate? What can you give to someone else? And what can you just stop dealing with entirely, because it's got nothing to do with you? And there are things on people's plates that have nothing to do with them, that people just take it on and take it on. So if you are someone like that, it's really important that you focus on yourself, you focus on your needs. And of course, you're going to focus on taking care of the people around you, if that's, if that is your life, right? If you are responsible for other humans, if you're in a relationship with someone, of course, you're always taking other people into consideration, but you have to make sure that you are living life in alignment with what you want out of your life, right? If you're looking for peace in your life, you need to figure out how to bring more peace into your life. If you're looking for abundance, you need to think to yourself, how can I feel more abundant? What can I do to bring abundance into my life? And this is something that I talk about almost every single day, but it's something that I really want to impress upon anybody listening. The thing that you are looking for in your life is the very thing that you need to, number one, give to yourself, and number two, put out into the world. And the most important thing of all of this, of course, with this 3-ring circus or 1-ring circus, is set up your boundaries. Set up your boundaries, protect yourself, protect your energy. And when you do that, then you are going to be much more well positioned to take care of other people, way more positioned to be able to pursue whatever dreams that you have in your life, because you're going to be taking care of yourself, and you're going to be able to just focus on the things that are important to you, that are priorities to you, and that matter. Once you remove all the things that really don't matter or have nothing to do with you or your personal responsibilities, I'm not talking about things on a global scale, because obviously, there are things that each one of us need to do to contribute to the whole. But you need to begin with yourself first, make sure that you're right, and then you will be adding that rightness, that goodness, that good intention, and holding space for everyone from a place of a solid foundation. And that's where you need to begin. I hope that was helpful for you. Lynn, I don't know if you want a card, but I am going to pull one. Since we have a few minutes left, I'm going to pull one for the collective and just see, what should we all be taking a look at right now in terms of this energy of the new moon, the energy of this week. And the new moon energy is really potent for like 7 to 10 days. So, during that time, this is the time, as I said to Melina, for anyone who was listening, you have to think about, actually, I wasn't saying to Melina, I was saying to all of us earlier, you have to think about what seeds you want to plant, or what seeds that you want to cultivate, right? So what seeds have you already planted that you need to, nurture with some water and, food, right? Like however you nurture your dreams, you nurture your children, you nurture the people in your life, you nurture the ideas that you have, right? What do you need to do to nurture the things that you want to see blossom and grow? Or if you don't have anything that you've really become super clear on that you want to focus on, then think about what could you start? What seeds could you start planting to set the stage for the dreams you have for the future? Because everybody has dreams for the future. And if that dream feels really distant, if the thoughts that you're having in your life are, just seem unreachable because of your current life circumstances, then the thing that you need to focus on is expanding the possibilities in your mind, is just focusing on your mindset and looking at things from a different perspective and starting to see the possibilities. And I'll even give you as soul work, I won't say homework, but as your soul work, is to really take note of all the things that you have accomplished in your life, right? All of the things in your life that you've been able to get through where maybe you didn't think you could get through before, so that you can see how amazing and powerful you truly are. And that's where you will begin. And once you kind of open up the possibilities for yourself, then you can think, okay, what seed can I start planting? Even if the seed you're planting is simply for a feeling that you don't have, that you hope to experience more in your life. And this is where I come, why I talk about the GPS so often, because if you just want to feel happiness or peace or bliss or spaciousness or freedom, right? If that's what you want to feel most, but you are not quite sure how to get there in life, then begin by making it safe for you to feel that, right? So what can you do in order to be okay with starting to feel that? Because sometimes we don't feel okay with those feelings because we just have too much going on. We just have way too much going on, and it's really hard. My cards are getting stuck. Okay. Let's pull another card. Let's pull a card for the collective. Melina, you are so welcome. I'm so glad that was bang on. I'm so glad. I hope that was helpful. It was bang on, but I'm not sure it was helpful. But I hope it was helpful. And I hope that you have a wonderful experience today as part of your new moon experience. My cards, I flipped the cards today. Okay, here we go. All right, last one. I'm just going to pull this card and see what else we need to know as we finish up this broadcast. All right, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I love this card. Okay, this card, number 5, is goblins. Okay, now this is great for the collective because guess what? This is exactly what we're dealing with right now. And very often, this goblin card is about us facing our fears. And guess what? We are facing, this global impending, this impending global war, right? Like we have stuff going on, and there's plenty of things going on outside of just the Russia Ukraine conflict. There's so many conflicts that I'm just not educated enough to feel comfortable talking about it right now. But I know there's so many things going on. But because of the presence and of the magnitude of this conflict that's happening in Russia and Ukraine right now, in terms of how it affects, us in the US and in Canada, and it's something that's very, very present, it is a physical representation or manifestation of us really experiencing our fears, right? Because that's the thing. Like, I mean, as far as when we were children growing up, it's like the thing you always were worried about is World War, World War, World War. It's like, I mean, I don't know about you. I don't know if it was a concern for everybody. Believe me, when I was a kid, I used to think about it. And now our children are living that, right? Our children are hearing that there's something going on and that's potential for this. So this is us facing our goblins. This is us coming face to face with the things that we are most afraid of. And that's been part of the evolution that's been happening. It's been part of, what started in the pandemic 2 years ago is, on a global scale, we all face something really scary, which is like a global health scare. That triggered feelings of like, this pandemic or this, wipe out of the population. And that's scary. And we've sort of been holding that in our hearts and in our bodies and in our energetic fields for the last couple of years. And Also, on a very personal level, for each individual and so many people that I've spoken to, we are all in the process of facing our deepest fears. The things that you are most afraid of are some of the things that we are going to be facing collectively. And so, what happens with these goblins? Well, you have to face them, right? It's just like bullies in your life. You cannot just ignore them. You have to face them. You have to set the boundaries for what is acceptable in your energetic field and what isn't, right? And if you have to stand up and fight, you need to stand up and fight. Sometimes the most loving and the most spiritual thing you can do is putting your foot down and fighting for your freedom, or fighting for your independence, or fighting for your sovereignty, right? But not doing it with hatred, but doing it for the love of all of humanity, for us to all advance, to finally feel free in this world. So if you face your goblins, when you are face to face with your goblins and you no longer hide from them and you just face them and be like, okay, this is it. I'm facing the scariest thing of my life. And you are able to get through it in whatever way that you can. Well, that is evidence that you can get through anything. And that's part of what this process is for us to face the things that scare us the most so that we can realize how truly powerful we are, so that we can see how resilient we are. Not that I hope this for, the world. This is just how I see things. This is how I feel things. These are the messages that I've been receiving. And that is that we need to be gentle with ourselves and be aware that we are facing our deepest fears. And it is our opportunity to face them with new tools, with new strategies, and in our new evolved bodies, right? We are now evolved. It is different now than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 25 years ago, 60 years ago, right? When we're looking on a global scale, things are different, even if they feel the same. We are different. We have evolved. So if you're struggling in your life, and you are seeing something or living through something that is particularly challenging, that is making you face your deepest, darkest fear, I'm here to tell you that you can get through this. You can get through this, and you have the power of spirit and source and God and all of the energies that are just waiting to help you get through this time so that we can transmute the fear and the darkness that we feel into light, so that not just so that it turns into light, but so that we can see how it's done, so that we can see the power we have to take heavy, dark energy and transmute it and change it and make it lighter and make it filled with love, right? And embrace and accept that we have these fears and that things do happen, but yet we can get through them. And let me tell you something, we can get through them a lot better and a lot faster when we do it together, because everything is better together. Remember that. We are all connected. And when we can find a way for us to get through things where everybody wins, then we just jump right to that timeline, that ultimate optimum timeline that all of us dream about. Okay. That's it. That's my sermon for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow. I'm here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube. I'm so happy to see you here. I hope that you go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page. Go to Jumpstart for Change right now, and I'll see you tomorrow. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Bye.